Hello and welcome back to Games Embassy with the ambassadors of gaming. I am one of your army of hosts, Ambassador Jason.
I'm Ambassador Kevin.
And I'm Ambassador Billy.
And welcome to our corner of the internet where we have news about stuff. Kevin, how are you doing today?
Pokemon!
Pokemon.
I play Pokemon till 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm feeling great. I need like a Red Bull and I don't know, chill up my arm or something. I don't know, but
Pokemon is amazing, man. And how you doing, Billy?
Truth. I'm good. It's been a while since I've been on the mic for the show. So it's nice to be back, and it's nice to be with you boys, hanging out, talking games and tech.
It's been a while since it's been us three.
Right. For the Holy Trinity in this.
Yeah. Holidays, man.
yeah, man. Welcome back.
Appreciate it.
Well, go ahead, Billy. Take us into our little plug we have.
Sure. So, as always, we have a nice little Patreon page where you can get some cool perks and goodies like early access to shows, getting your comments, questions, and concerns read on the show, and also some exclusive goodies and content. If you would like to support the show and get some goodies, you can do so over there at patreon.com/ambassadors of gaming. So please do support and check us out. We really do appreciate all the help and all of the viewership that you give us.
Awesome. Thanks. So let's get into the updates, announcements, and other miscellaneous news.
All right. So Disintegration has opened up for beta tests. The game from ex-Halo devs is set to start on January 28th. You can sign up via a PlayStation site right now. For other updates and announcements, Kingdom Hearts Project Xenoid has been announced for iOS and Android coming spring 2020. Ninja Theory announces Project Mero. Project Mero is an experimental title that explores new ways of storytelling. Project Mero is said to be a grounded representation of mental terror.
Awesome
stuff.
I cannot wait for that, to be honest.
That sounds pretty interesting. I haven't heard anything about it, but I'm looking forward to it now.
There was just like a brief like CG. I don't even know if CGI. Maybe it was in engine actually, but apparently it was running on the Series X of like this short cutscene from Project Mara, and it looks ridiculous. Like everyone's saying, it looks real as hell. So it's gonna be crazy. I mean, tight, like really good visuals paired with like great game design in terms of like following a certain theme. It's just gonna be A1, just creme de la creme.
Yeah, I actually heard that Ninja Theory is actually partnered with some guy from University of Cambridge for this project who's actually studying like mental health. So it's actually pretty interesting, especially when like what's going on in society. I'm not trying to get too deep into it, but mental health is a big thing that is a big problem. So I like this game is actually going to bring that more up to the table for discussion.
Yeah, Ninja Theory stay like taking like the academia and academics behind like all their themes very seriously. I mean, look at Hellblade. They had a consultant that actually had a consultant, someone who knew about psychosis and how it feels and could articulate that, which then led to the game being designed in such an award-winning way, and with almost every single component of the game getting rave reviews and getting awarded, so like it's great that they take the craft so seriously.
I haven't played Hellblade, but I want to play it because of that main reason right there. I heard so many good things about the voices that you hear while you play the game. It's just mind-boggling how they did that and how it affects the player themselves.
Absolutely.
Let's get into the news. TenCent is looking to acquire Funcom. TenCent reportedly has offered the remaining stakeholders in the Conan Exiles developer a 27.3% higher than current stake value to own the developer. The studio has suggested the remaining stakeholders take the offer. That's some news.
Tencent's the Chinese investors.
Tencent's Tencent's China, man. I wouldn't be surprised if that's just the Chinese government and they're just starting to own everything because
Tencent is the China.
They have so many things underneath their umbrella, man. Like They have they're the ones putting out the Nintendo Switch in China. They are with certain games, and they own Riot Games. They own a lot, man. It's a huge company.
It's crazy, man. They just stay buying shares in companies. I didn't realize how deal TenCent were like until maybe 2000 and what was it? I think I can't remember. It was 15 or 16. There was like this whole thing about. I think it wasn't at the level that it is now, obviously with the whole Blizzard situation, but it was more like Epic Games and people talking about TenCent's influence. But there was always something a bit weird, like this major kind of Chinese, I don't even know what to call it, conglomerate company organization is just buying out shares in all these gaming studios. So it's interesting.
It's a lot. I mean, if you think about it, they have 100% of Riot Games. They have they're 40% into Epic Games, 5% Ubisoft, 11.5% Bluehole, which is Players Unknown, PUBG, which they also develop PUBG's mobile game. And then they have 5% with Activision Blizzard, 80% of Grinding Gears games, which is Path of Exile. And then they also have 83% of Supercell, 9% of Frontier Development. It's like crazy. There's a whole list. I can keep going. It's ridiculous.
It is actually ridiculous. I mean, there's a whole argument that's to be had here about like shareholders, stakeholders. They do dictate like the level of censorship in a company. Like if there's a certain agenda that needs to be pushed and whatnot. And I've seen like multiple reports of it and evidence of it in like even outside of gaming and things like movies, say for instance in Marvel, which I think TenCent has a stake in. I'm not sure. We could probably confirm that. But
no, not
with, like
yet.
Marvel movies, like having Chinese characters or something like that, they're not like allowed to have Chinese characters if they're represented a certain way, or like it's weird. Like it's a bit of a grey area. I think I don't think we've seen the full list extent in terms of the games and the message behind the games. But obviously, we've seen what happened with the whole Blizzard situation and how that kind of took off. But obviously, that's hopefully not going to be any issue any further.
No, but I'm reading here from PC Gamer. It had everything that they put their money into. Discord received $158 million in funding last year, including an undisclosed amount from TenCent. That is crazy.
Damn.
Like TenCent's everywhere, man. They have so much money. They're putting money everywhere, which is a smart move because they're getting money from all these different sources. You know, if Bluehole Studios, which is PUBG, goes under, they're not gonna miss out on much. They'll still get funding from other places. So it's really good financially, but it's crazy when you think about how many places they're dipping their money into to receive income back.
They got a lot of people in vices, I guess. And it's like a lot of control. It's control. It's a power play.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Basically.
But anywho, so let's move on from that kind of solemn, dire news and move into the next item, which is basically prototypes of the Xbox One Series X have leaked. Following multiple fakes, according to Thorat.com, I think it's Thorat or Thoreau, I can't remember. They have received legitimate images of the console. The supposed dev kit supports 2 USB-A ports, yuck, 1 optical audio port, 1 HDMI out, an Ethernet port, a power supply, and a regular port to export feedback and data for the devs. So it was obviously a dev kit that kind of leaked, or a developer style system. But what I would say to that is it's interesting they haven't got USB-C. I thought that the console would have had that, especially considering the Series X is using USB-C for charging. And also, what was the other bit that it's just interesting that some of the choices there. I will say another tidbit is that they no longer support HDMI in, which was quite a good feature for people. I did this a lot. This is a little bit of a tidbit from me, was that I used to run my PS4 through my HDMI in on my Xbox. This is like near the start of the gen, simply because I didn't have 2 HDMI ports on my TV and the input lag was never like horrendous for me. So it was quite a good feature. So it's interesting away from, which kind of tells us they're becoming more serious about the pure gaming side of it. Or maybe that's the impression they're trying to give off. Obviously, it remains to be seen how things pan out. But what are you boys' thoughts?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, I just think that the HDMI thing was, who uses it right now? You know, like it was kind of like I don't want to say a gimmick, but when the first initial like idea of the Xbox One was to be like an all-in-one entertainment system, and they kind of got rid of that and tried to focus on gaming. So it kind of makes sense to not, add more money, add more things to that's not really going to be like, like I used to use the HDMI in for like the PS3 when I used to play Final Fantasy 14. And then like my friend, like he'll play on PC, so I'll be on the Xbox and I'll be on Xbox Party with him, but he'll be on his PC, I'll be on my PS3. But that's it's still like not everybody really does that, you know what I mean? Like it's really like I don't say the game, but I think it's fine they got rid of it. I see nothing is lost, nothing big. Like if anything, if you want more HDMI ports, I think you get like a splitter, so.
That's true. I'm pretty upset about the USB ports, man. Like, why are we still using USB-A? Why?
I think it's just because of the dev kit. I don't think there's actually the final thing. That'd be kind of stupid.
Kit because there's no need for it, man. USB-C, it's so good. It's so good.
It's brilliant. I think once you go C, you never go A kind of thing. Like if I've experienced the fast charging, like for instance with the Series X controller, I would not go back. Sorry if that made a really loud noise there. I would not go back to, say, for instance, a standard Xbox One controller with standard charging. It doesn't make sense to me. Why would I do that when I get fast charging on the Series X controller thanks to USB-C? It seems a bit backwards that they would, and it seems a bit disconnected, I guess, as well. So I don't know. I mean, it seems like a legitimate leap, but we are a ways out as well. I mean, I'm sure they haven't.
We're not too far. I mean, we're less than a year away from these things coming out.
Yeah, I mean, my thought is I doubt. I mean, hopefully we wait and see, but I doubt like they're at a point where they're kind of boxing up the Series X's now. Like they're probably still at a point where they can make a few last minute refinements or changes, not majorly, but maybe just a few kind of bits here and there. So who knows? I mean, if they're past the mass production stage, then I guess we've got USB-A for the next gen, guys. But if they're not at that stage, then there's probably still room for them to kind of suss out and say, okay, let's go USB-C.
Well,
sometimes I do have sorry, continue. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Finish up.
I was just going to say, I do feel like sometimes some are carefully orchestrated to kind of generate consumer feedback. Like I know it sounds weird, but it's like put out a leak kind of comes out through avenues that Microsoft may know about, but they kind of let it happen, and then they see the response. Like it's kind of like an unfiltered, unfettered response. Like no one's holding back about it. Then everyone's like, oh no, why are they doing that? And then when they got that data, when they got that kind of telemetry, you could say, it's like, okay, boom. I guess we need to change this. I guess we need to change that about the outlook of it and whatnot. So I mean, yeah, that's kind of sometimes what I think when it comes to leaks. What were you going to say, James?
There is that rumor of multiple consoles coming out for the Xbox Series X, like multiple versions. And it could very well that this might just be like the base model. And like the next higher tier model will have USB Type C's, which I don't think there's a big price difference between USB Type C's and USB Type A's. But it could be on a different model, of the higher version model, where it has the faster charging capability and maybe some other things as well. Because they do have that rumor of multiple versions of this console coming out.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
But
it does.
It is disappointing.
It is. Well, I'm just going to continue. Do you guys want to continue on this topic or just move on?
No. Let's move on.
All right. So, Horizon Zero Dawn may be coming to PC. According to reports from Kotaku, the game is set to be coming to PC this year. Jason Schreier has also teased that other projects may be coming to PC as well. This will mark the first time a Sony game has been sold on a PC platform, as the company typically sells its first-party titles exclusively on its PlayStation platforms. However, the game has been playable on PC via PS Now. I think this is actually kind of big because one of the big leading thing about PlayStation is their exclusives. And you could play it on PlayStation, like nowhere else, except for like games being on PS Now, which is on PC. But you still give money to, PlayStation. You're mostly buying all these games on PlayStation, not on Xbox and Switch. So having games coming out for like Steam, like God of War on Steam or all those other games, like later, I'm not saying God of War, but I'm gonna say like more PlayStation titles actually going to like PC. I think it's kind of huge because like a lot of people like to talk a lot of crap about Xbox and how like what's the point of having an Xbox when like their games on PC and all this stuff. And it's kind of crazy to see that PlayStation is kind of doing the same, or they might be because of the rumor. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I mean, for what my view on this is that, like, it was always possible for Sony to do that, but they were banking, completely and utterly banking on hardware sales. That's the long and the short of it. If you don't own a game and you want to play that game, you must get the hardware to play that game, like the around it. But, and this is common knowledge as well, hardware companies make a loss. Like their entire profit comes from software. And that's why Microsoft's biggest moneymaker is Office business. People subscribe to Office and they pay, £8 a month or $10 a month or whatever it is. Consider how many millions of people are using Office and then just spread that over a year. You get what I'm saying? So you can quickly see how, software and that too models like or Office or anything that follows that kind of subscription Netflix-esque service, or having your software available on multiple platforms. Think about it. Office isn't available on just Windows. It's available on Mac. It's available on Android. It's available on iOS. It's available everywhere. So if you subscribe to Office, you're able to use it on all these softwares, but you're not limited by hardware kind of thing. So it's a great move. It's a great move for PlayStation and Sony to do this. I just think the only people that are against it are people that have too much riding on like a plastic and they kind of ride or die for it. And I'm just like, okay, fair enough. Like console warring has been happening forever. I know people always criticize that point of view when people complain about the console war. They say, oh, but it's been happening since this. It doesn't mean it's any less stupid. It just means that, okay, fine, it's been happening forever. If anything, it's more of a representation of how the gaming community kind of refuses to evolve a little bit. But it's a great move. If we're looking at financial financial strength going forward, this is the best position to have. And I won't get Horizon Zero Dawn. I have it on PlayStation 4 already. But I have no problem with PC gamers being able to play it, and that too, play it at a better quality than I will, considering they'll have like a high power NVIDIA GTX or RTX 2070 rig or something like that. More power to them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like the exclusivity of consoles is going to be coming to an end pretty soon. We got Xbox games coming on Nintendo. Versions of Nintendo games on mobile. I see like, I would say probably in the next like 10 years or less, it's not going to be like that anymore. It's people want to play their game when they want to play it without restrictions. Which is why like Microsoft has a lot of games from Xbox, also available on PC, also available on Switch. If Sony makes this move, it's going to be good for them because, like you said, Billy, they always lose money. They don't really make money on consoles. They really don't. It's to get their foot inside the door to release the software. And if you think about it, if Sony just starts releasing games, think about it, if your company doesn't make consoles and you just start making games, that's pretty much pure profit because you're not losing money on consoles.
Exactly, and Microsoft's been doing that for a fair bit, as in, like, since they announced Game Pass, since they announced Xbox Play Anywhere, since they announced like a more kind of cross-platform approach, like they've like been drawing their line in the sand, or not drawing the line in the sand, but like they've kind of said, this is what we do now, kind of thing, and people have. Again, there's always going to be dissenting voices, but people have kind of grown to accept it. Doing now, but with Sony, they're not there yet. This is still a shock to people that they're, oh wow, they're putting games on PC. That's crazy. Like Microsoft say, we're going to put our first party games on PC. It's not a big deal, but Sony says it is a big deal. And I think this is all part of the process of like a company evolving and changing what kind of priorities are and where it's targeting, kind of thing. So I feel like in about 2-3 years' time, get a PlayStation games coming to PC isn't going to be a huge deal. But we'll see. It's always something to look out for.
I mean, think about it. In the early 90s, you had Sega and Nintendo going head to head, ripping each other off in commercials, blah, blah, blah. And look at it now. You got Sonic on Nintendo, man. You got Sonic and Mario on Olympics. You got Sonic games on the Switch. I mean, things happen. Things change.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward with PlayStation. PlayStation is officially skipping E3 2020. The company has publicly stated that they will not participate in the event, instead choosing to focus on hundreds of consumer events across the globe. In 2020, we assume to show off the PS5. E3 is not doing well right now. Was this the second year that PlayStation's skipping?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo doesn't really do an E3 thing anymore. They have their Nintendo Direct, which is amazing. I love these directs. I have been for many years. They're great. They're great. And it just seems like Microsoft's really the only one that's in there still. Besides some studios like Ubisoft and EA.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, E3 been kind of boring or lackluster lately. Like,
I used to love E3. Like, it was like my go-to show. Like, every year I would be hyped for it. But now it just seems like a show. It's like they try to say who's cock's bigger, and then when it comes down to it, no one's cock's bigger. Like, because anything that's presented at E3 never really comes to fruition correctly. Like Crackdown, they're like Crackdown 3, amazing, and went on for years. And when it finally came out, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, it was okay. But the one that kind of like makes E3 like kind of lackluster is the fact that a lot of games get leaked right before E3. So it's like, oh no, the big surprise, like it was rumored, like I don't know, man. And some of the performances to be having on stage, or like a lot of funny bloopers be having on stage, or people messing up, or random shows. Like E3 is just not the same as it was before. Like back then, it was like it had like a spark. Like, man, like I don't have to set like an alarm to make sure I'm watching this E3 at this time. But like I was like focused. But now it's like, oh, E3. All right, let me just watch a YouTube video of like all the announcements.
The highlights, yeah.
All the highlights. I'm not gonna spend like an hour and a half of my life just watching this show anymore. Like it's not the same. It's really not the same.
And it feels so fake. It really feels so fake. It feels like a stupid award ceremony. You know, like when you watch like these, like the award ceremonies are reading from the teleprompter, and it seems so like soulless and dead as they read what they have to read. That's what it feels like. They come out and they're staring right into the camera, which is right into the teleprompter, and they're going, oh, and they just, spouting out their nonsense. It just seems so, it's all scripted, and it just feels soulless. Like, just show us games, man. Show us games that are actually going to come out and actually look like that. Not like Crackdown 3 and other games I can't think of.
What was the game of Ubisoft? Oh, I forgot the name. I can't think of the name right now. The game of Ubisoft, I think it was like ET 2012 or ET 2013, and they can't. Watch Dogs. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. The final game versus what was shown on E3 was like night and day. Horrible. Oh man, like E3, oh my man. It's like, like these games be super polished and look all fake. It doesn't even running on the console, it be running on like on a PC and all this stuff. And man, like I still can't wait. Right now, if Xbox said they're not gonna do E3, which I know they will because they try to capitalize on it, Like I wouldn't even care. Like Nintendo's have their own show, PlayStation's have their own show. Like all these consoles should literally just stop doing E3s at this point.
It's not worth. I mean, E3 would be nice if it was just like demos and whatnot. That's cool, when they do the demos. But these presentations aren't needed. And then you have Ubisoft's presentation. And they all have like these weird gimmicks to them. Let's bring out a really fancy car on stage because it's going to be debuted in the stupid game. Let's have some performers up here, and everything's just really awkward. I'm kind of done with E3. I mean, it could be just that I'm old and 30, but I don't care for it anymore. I really don't.
Yeah.
Billy, are you okay? Are you there?
Okay, so Xbox has confirmed, or Xbox confirmed, shall we say, that there will be cross-gen titles both on Xbox One and Series X. The company confirmed that both consoles will be receiving games for at least a year, maybe 2, maybe 7. No, I'm kidding. So at least for a year, maybe 2, at the very least, I can imagine. Now, the games will scale as they do with the current X and S models. My thought on this is that, again, it's great. I can't believe it's such a, oh my God, how dare Xbox do this kind of thing. It never used to be the case before. But the fact that it is the case now is fantastic. You own the X, you're good. You own the Series X, you're good. You own the Xbox One S, you're good. You own the OG VCR looking thing, you're good, right? Like you're covered whatever you do. And how, like people are saying that, oh, it's going to hold back and this and the other. It's like, that argument does not apply to PC. How the hell is it applying to console?
Did everyone forget?
People say, like like an Intel integrated graphics back, a game that runs on PC. You can still purchase the game. You can still install the game. You play the game on an Intel integrated graphics card. It's going to run laggy, but you play the game on a GTX 1070. It's going to be fine. And the game was designed to run as it's designed to run. It doesn't matter what
it's played on.
Well, and if anything, PC. The fact that older hardware on PC doesn't hold games back, that's a testament to it's not really like developers in terms of design. They will always design at the highest level as possible. They will never kind of bottleneck that for any reason. Like if they're able to have a certain gameplay element in the game, if they're able to design a certain mechanic in the game, they will do that provided the hardware is there for it. So the fact that Series X is enabling that, they will have that happen. A good example of that is you guys remember Assassin's Creed Black Flag on 360, PS3, and then Xbox One and PS4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now that game, the foliage, so you see the bushes in the game. If you would move into them on the version or the PS3 version, the foliage wouldn't move. But then on the PS4 and the Xbox One version, if you go through the foliage, it kind of moves around and the leaves kind of flush around the body when you're moving there. Like, this is what people are talking about when it comes to holding back. And as I just explained, there's evidence that the older hardware did not hold it back. Like the same game, it's fundamentally the same game, but certain things were done differently with powerful hardware. So there's actual evidence that it's not going to be a problem, yet people are complaining that it's going to be a problem. What are you guys' thoughts?
This has been going on for years, though. I mean, have they not heard of PC gaming? I mean, I can play CSGO on a $4,000 machine and play against someone that's playing on a $200 machine, and it doesn't affect anything, period. That's it. It doesn't affect anything. And then, are people forgetting the early 2000s when PS3 came out? Sony was still publishing games on PS2 and PS3 for almost 2 years. They were PS2 had titles coming out almost 2 years into PS3's game, PS3's lifespan. 2 years into it, there were still PS2 games being developed and released on both PS2 and PS3.
Yeah.
They weren't exactly first title games, but they were still games.
Exactly.
So no one complained then. Actually, everyone was praising Sony. Look at Sony still having titles released on PS2 and still selling, and then released, did the revise on the PS2 to the PS3, PS2 Slim. and still supporting PS2, while Xbox just completely dropped Microsoft. I apologize. While Microsoft really dropped Xbox One support, the original Xbox support, and just focused on the 360. Like, right. And now the roles are, I wouldn't say the roles are flopped, but now Microsoft is taking that approach and supporting all of Xbox One as well as the Series X, and everyone's getting all upset. It's a thing, man. It'll be fine. These people need to understand how games work.
Good question though. Like, will a game say that Halo Infinite, say that for some reason come on Xbox One and the Series X, but and PC. Oh, of course, I know. If you buy a version of it, I know the Xbox Series X is supposed to be backwards compatible, but if you buy it for the Xbox One, are you gonna be playing the Xbox Series X version of it? Like, will it be like an upgrade version when you play on the Xbox Series X, or will it still be the original Xbox One X version that is backwards compatible? Do you get my question?
So you're saying are they going to make just one version of it? You mean like you go in the store and there's just Xbox Infinity for Xbox One, and then when you put it in the Series X, it enhances it? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
No, I think they'll make two SKUs of it, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, there's that, and then I think there's also a case. I mean, think about it right now. When they said they were blurring the lines, generations, I feel like they genuinely meant it. And by that I mean it's like, yes, it's a new generation Xbox, but it doesn't mean new generation in the way that I mean from, say, the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, right? So, what's happening, I think, is the same way the Xbox One S will play the same games that the Xbox One X can play. It's just that the One X has got extra content that needs to be downloaded, extra kind of pack that the developers make specifically for that hardware. I feel like it's going to be the same on the Series X. So I feel like the developers are going to make sure their games are ready to take advantage of Series X, but they're also going to have a version of the game that's maxing out the current gen system so that you're getting the best of whatever system you're on. I think that's the best way for them to do it, to be honest, because if they did it any other way, then it would be like shooting themselves in the foot. So just make the best of the system that's on.
This current generation, it's not like we're going from Xbox and PS2 to PS3 and Xbox 360. That was a huge leap in graphics, night and day. 360 to Xbox One, not that drastic. I mean, it was noticeable, but it wasn't like Xbox to Xbox 360. Good, there's a good change, but it wasn't so drastic. And now going from Xbox One, PS4 to PS5 and Xbox Series X, it's not going to be that drastic. It's just not. It's going to be cleaner, sharper. You're going to supposedly have ray tracing. But I think what's going to define this generation is going to be speed with the solid state drives, the ray tracing, and multitasking. Like being able to jump in and out of the game very quickly and load up other things very quickly without there being so much delay. That's what I think is going to define this generation. Because it's not that they talk about 8K, right? I can't afford an 8K TV. These things are expensive. 1, 2, the way 4K is done right now on consoles isn't really true 4K still. And when they do 4K, it's affecting the frames per second on some games. So until they master 4K at 60 or plus frames per second, it's not. There's no point in going to 8K. I feel like they're trying to jump the gun when it comes to these resolutions. Very little people are going to have 8K TVs. I don't see 8K. 4K is still making its way down to the general population. And when it comes down to it, our internet infrastructure isn't capable of supporting the downloads. If you were to go digital only, it would take forever. It would take forever to download these games.
Absolutely.
So I really think this generation is going to be focusing on speed, multitasking, and the cleaning up of the graphics. I feel like AI, the artificial intelligence in games for single player games, is going to be much better for this generation also. Yeah. But that's what I feel like this generation is really focusing on, which is why they can still create content and cross-platform content for the previous generation that we're in right now, the Xbox Ones and PS5s. But yeah, I mean, that's just my take on it.
I agree.
I agree. So I'm just going to continue on this discussion. I'm sorry about that. Alienware unveils a Switch-like PC. The company unveiled a device heavily inspired by Nintendo Switch with removable controllers at CES. The company does not have an idea of when the handheld will release, if ever. The device was shown off playing Mortal Kombat 11 and Rocket League. It features an 8-inch 1200p display, USB-C ports, USB-C, Xbox, to connect a keyboard and mouse, and runs Windows 10. What do you guys feel about this? I think it's pretty cool, but I feel like PC trying to do handheld stuff like the NVIDIA Shield and all that stuff. Just
yeah.
I feel like PC trying to do handheld is like that old dad that tries to be hip and with the youths kind of thing. It's a bit awkward. It's like PC knows what it is kind of thing. It should kind of cater to the hardcore audience that really invest in PC. Like, I don't think a PC game is going to be rushing to get a handheld version or play their PC games on a handheld screen. Like, you get a PC because you want the highest fidelity experience. I mean, am I crazy in thinking that? Like you got. Why are you gonna water down what you're looking at, what your experience to play it on a handheld device? Like, you've got a PC. What's the point?
It's not even that. It comes down to the main thing: controls. Period.
Yeah.
I'm a PC gamer. I mean, I play everything: consoles, mobile, PC. But when I play PC, I'm playing PC. Like, if I'm playing CS:GO, I'm playing keyboard and mouse. I'm not playing CS:GO with a controller. I'm not playing CS:GO on a handheld. Like, that is an intense game that I specifically play on PC because it's the best. You know what I mean? If I'm playing I have Overwatch for the Switch. I was psyched for it. As soon as I got it, I'm not even talking about the graphics. Like, the graphics look fine on the Switch. I can't play Overwatch to save my life on the Switch, period. Like, I can't. I look like a scrub. I sit here and play on PC. I'm over here platinum rank. Used to be diamond rank. Like, I can't. When I'm playing like serious games, like especially when it comes to first person shooters, period, I need this keyboard and mouse. I'm so used to it. It's in my opinion the best input method ever for like a game. It's what I need. Like, now if you're playing like other games like like Mortal Kombat, that's fine. But then why have that? You have a console. You can play it on the Switch for like $300 and not like whatever this is going to cost.
But think about it, dude. Like, it comes with you could use a keyboard and mouse. I think about like on the Switch, how you like a little stand and you could take out the Joy-Cons and play like that. Portably. Like, you could do that too with the Video Shield if you want to play like those type of games. It
does have the USB, to connect a keyboard and mouse, but now you're staring at a 8-inch display. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I can't. It's just me. I'm just talking about myself. I mean, I'm pretty sure other people can do it, but I'm not going to want to sit there and look at an 8-inch display trying to play CS:GO or any other like hardcore FPS on PC.
Well, this be more open-minded. Think about like, all right, you go play this. What if I have like an HDMI out and it connects to like anything with a monitor, and then boom, you have a portable PC with you. If
they made it to the point where it had a dock and you can dock it and connect to a monitor, that'd be totally different. Like, that would be amazing. Because then, like, say it was running, like laptop quality internals, and you can dock it, and then it goes onto a monitor, and then you can play that on a keyboard. That's perfect, because then you're on a monitor. But if it doesn't have docking capabilities and it's just, complicated and using like just a mobile PC, I mean, and it might be good for other people. I'm just talking about the games I play. Like, if you sit here and play like Civilization and you're capable of playing on the controller, that's great then. But like, I play, and then I'm not saying I play just that. I play all kinds of games but the games I've been playing lately wouldn't work well on a controller for me. That's just my take on it. If it has a dock, because it doesn't mention a dock, if it had a dock where it can dock and then upload a display on a monitor and use a keyboard and mouse, that'd be great because it'd be kind of like a better version of the Razer Blade, the very thin Ultrabook Razer makes.
Yeah.
And then you buy the graphics card. What's that thing called? It's a chamber. You put a graphics card in, and then when you hook it up to the USB Type C, it enhances the graphics of your games that you're playing. I looked into that setup because when they announced the Razer Blade like 4 years ago, I was psyched. I was like, oh my God, I can get my portable gaming. And when I get home, I just hook up the GPU through the Type C, and then I can play like regular, full extent games. But then when I looked into the price of doing it, it was like way too much money for like the kind of performance you're going to get. Like you might as well just spend $1,400 or less and get like a superior performance value than spending almost $2,500 and being bottlenecked still.
Absolutely.
But if this is like a better version of that, that would be cool. But they didn't mention anything about the dock that I know of.
Yeah, they didn't mention the price too, right?
No, they did not mention the price.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I think about it,
the concept looks great. I am worried that they only showed Mortal Kombat and Rocket League because now it makes me feel like there might need to be additional what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God, I'm so stumped. Additional development to make a game work on it. I would have felt better if they had any game. You know what I mean? Like you just play whatever they had there. Because that would show me like all I have to do is buy, like I don't have to worry. Like right now I'm thinking if this were to be sold, there'd be a limitation on what games are available because they only had 2 to show off. So that's what I'm thinking about. I wouldn't want to invest in this and then have to wait for a developer to port the game over kind of thing.
Yeah. I just think that they probably just chose those 2 games because, Rocket League, everybody loves that game. And I don't know. Actually, I don't know why they chose Rocket League, but, Mortal Kombat is actually a very good, like, graphically, it's showing like a... Yeah,
graphically, it is nice, but it would have been also cool to show, like, what FPSs would have been on there. Like, Fortnite. Like, I'm surprised they didn't show Fortnite or PUBG or, like, any, like, really... Think about, like, an actual... Like, Mortal Kombat and Rocket League, they're you can get them on any console right now. They would have shown, like, a PC exclusive, like CSGO or League of Legends, like something that's exclusive to PC being played on there. That would have been a little bit more reassuring because right now, that Mortal Kombat 11 and Rocket League game could have been a console version of the game.
True. Oh, maybe they're not trying to advertise to PC people. Maybe they're trying to advertise to console players. Who knows?
I like the idea. I really do. I just feel like it's not fleshed out yet. Because, like, I feel like this is like the Wii U. Like, the Wii U, it was a great concept with the second screen and the ability to play certain games just on I guess almost all games, just on the controller. But you were, like, tied to the base. And then it got flushed out more, and now we have the Switch, which is just amazing. I just feel like they need to either work on it more and, like, show us other games playing on it. So, like, and it's just a concept, but because things that are shown at CES are like you never know if you ever see them again. It's a great concept, and I would love for them to work on it more and show us what it can really do like in a year.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like when I first brought it up, I didn't think it would be much, but then I'm actually kind of interested in it. Like I actually want to know more about it. Yeah,
I would love for them to have if they had a roadmap for it of development. Like if they're really interested in producing it. That's what I mean. I like CES, but at the same time, I feel like CES is a place to show things off, and then you get hyped for it, and then nothing ever really comes from it. And I understand it's mostly concepts, but some of these concepts are pretty cool, and then they don't run with it, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
What was it last year or 2 years ago? Alienware had some really cool multi-screen laptops, if I'm not mistaken, and one of them got stolen from CES.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And that stuff looks pretty cool. And so far they haven't done anything with it. So it's kind of upsetting. It's like, oh, here's a video game, and you get all psyched for it, and they're like, yeah, but we're probably not going to make it. We're not going to make it.
That is true. That is so true. I forget, it was like a laptop with like 3 screens, right?
Yeah, it was
something like
so
that.
cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. You guys have anything else on this?
Oh, man, I think nothing else. I think we just call it a day.
Yeah, it's sorry for the background noise. All right, guys. Try to check us out at least once a week, as that is how often we try to do this. You might like what you find. I'm Ambassador Jason.
I'm Ambassador Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Pokemon.
And we didn't lose Billy this time, so that's great.
Right, times changed.
Because Kevin's accent's not great, and I don't know if I can even do it myself. I'm not even gonna try. It'd be horrible, man.
It's like,
Yeah, man. When the time came to like me to be as Billy, like I felt completely.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Hey, take care.
Yeah.
See ya.